Hey guys, welcome back to Flying with Brian. Welcome to Mississippi in August. It's hot today. It's been about 3 years since my last video. I had intended to make more videos of flying the Taylorcraft, but using multiple cameras and doing all the editing was hard, and it took a lot of time, and I just kind of lost interest gradually. So my apologies for not putting out more content in the last 3 years. Anyway, my neighbor Kurt and I, we just got back from Oshkosh 2024 in the Bonanza, and at the show there, I got to meet some YouTubers that I watch, guys that are building airplanes, and it was just really cool to get to connect with them face to face, and it kind of inspired me to maybe put out some more content. So here we are. Just wanted to give you an update on what's going on. So probably the first update for me personally, put together a bunch of documentation of the time that I spent rebuilding the Taylorcraft, doing all the fabric work on the wings, and the installing a different engine, and overhauling the engine on the Bonanza a few years ago. And I did all that work through the supervision of some friends of mine who are licensed mechanics. But anyway, I scheduled a meeting with a guy from the Memphis Flight Standards District Office and showed him my documentation. And through that, he signed me off to take all the exams to get my airframe and power plant mechanics license. And I took all those tests and finished that at the end of 2022. So I'm now a licensed mechanic, which I'm very proud of. And there's not a lot of internet documentation on how that process works. So you can either go to a school and do it, or you can use practical experience and document that. So if you'd like to, maybe if you're a guy or gal like me, who's a hands-on owner, been very involved in your airplane maintenance over the years, and you'd like to see like maybe a video of some of the steps on how to do that, put it down in the comments, and I'll try to maybe put together a little video for you. Not sure if that's something for the channel or not, but maybe if there's some interest, we'll see. Anyway, that's update on me personally. Let's talk about the Bonanza. So on the Bonanza over the last couple years, I guess I'll start with the lights. I replaced all my external lights with these Whalen LEDs. So this is a nav light and a strobe light. You can see on the top of the fuselage, I've got a beacon light up here, and then there's one on the bottom as well. And I've also, let's see, there it is, replaced the lights on the front, the nose wheel light and the cowling light. Here, I'll show you that. I don't do a lot of night flying because I'm on a grass strip that isn't lit, but these really, even during the daytime, they make the airplane a lot easier to see for collision avoidance, and just, I really like them. I bought those from Gallagher Aviation. James Gallagher has become a friend of mine, and he's a great guy. He didn't pay me to say that, but if you need lights for your airplane, highly recommend Gallagher Aviation. I did a little work to the panel. I'll show you a picture of that. So I guess the biggie is I replaced all of my analog engine instruments with these two gauges here. They're made by Electronics International. They're called the CGR30 combination. I think one of them is the CGR30P, one of them is the CGR30C. And now all my cylinder temps, exhaust temps, oil temp, oil pressure, voltage, amperage, fuel quantity, fuel flow, all that stuff is in those two gauges, which freed up some instrument panel space. And now I can mount a large iPad right here. Let me show you a picture of what that looks like in the panel. But I really like having that large iPad because it just gives me a bigger map and a little more situational awareness. And that's keeping this old Bonanza pretty up to date, I feel like. So along with the electronic instruments, I also went into my fuel tank here. This my year model Bonanza has a large 40-gallon bladder inside this leading edge of the wing. So I went inside there and replaced the old fuel quantity cinders that had these old analog cinders that use a resistance and an arm that floats. And I replaced that with an electronic digital version by a company called CIES, C-I-E-S. And now my fuel quantity is steady all the time and very accurate, and I'm very pleased with that. Let's see. Oh, probably the biggest news about the Bonanza was at Oshkosh this year. Like I said earlier, my neighbor Kurt and I have been flying in there, and airplanes that are built before 1970 and earlier qualify as vintage, and we park it in the vintage area at Oshkosh. And then Kurt and I go stay in some college dorms that are in the town of Oshkosh. We got tired of camping a few years ago, but that's another story. But I was running an errand, and Kurt went in to do the registration. Once you park, you go to the registration building and you tell them, you know, what row you're parked on, where you're tied down at, and there's a box on the form that you do that you can check if you want your airplane judged, which I did that once like 10 years ago. No big deal. You can get a little plaque that says I was at Oshkosh. But Kurt checked the box. He didn't even tell me he was going to do that. But yeah, he checked the box, and then this happened. So how crazy is that? I got the outstanding single-engine Beechcraft built between, I think, what was it say, 1956 and 1970. So we got an award. That was really totally surprised, blown away. I wasn't even at the airplane when it was judged, so just really cool. Probably a lot of luck involved. I don't know how many, you know, Bonanza guys or other Beechcraft guys signed up to be judged, but you know, what an honor. It's just, anyway, really cool. All right, now onto the Tailorcraft. I've been flying it for about 3 years. I think in the last video I'd put some new cylinders on it. Those have worked great. Not making any large amounts of metal. My oil consumption is very normal, like about a quart every, I think, 10 hours or so, which is, for a C85 engine, that's very normal. Really the only thing I've done to it is the doors here. My other doors, the original doors I had on were pretty ratty. I just took those off and I had a spare set. And I put all new glass in them, I painted them. And then I added this, what they call a patroller door. You basically just cut a hole in the outer skin, and I put a piece of clear Lexan and then drill it out and screw that to the inside. And I did it on both sides. And actually, I'll show you the left side right now. You can tell by me sweating, it's about 100 degrees in August in Mississippi right now. I don't even have the upper windows in it. They're flexible enough that I can just take them out of the little track here. And I fly it with no windows in the top half of the left side. But having that lower window, and then also having the skylight at the top, which you can see there, really opens up the cockpit of this little small Tailorcraft. Because sometimes when you fly in a Tailorcraft, you feel kind of boxed in and cramped because it's a pretty small airplane, but man, that really opens it up well, and I'm enjoying it. Yeah, so I've just been flying the Tailorcraft. Usually go over west of where I live, over to the river, and just kind of see the sights along the Mississippi River Delta and the river itself. And I've got some friends that live south of me that have Zenith 701s, and they like to land on sandbars, and I really enjoy doing that with them. I don't typically do that just by myself because I don't want to get stranded on some sandbar, but when my schedule meets up with those guys, I really enjoy flying with them along the river. But what the Tailorcraft really did was make me hungry for a little more airplane. The Tailorcraft is only 85 horsepower, and it's got a pretty limited useful load. So I went to Oshkosh in 2022, and I wanted to look at the Vans company makes a plane called the RV-15. Actually, they haven't kitted it yet. They're developing it. They have a prototype. I was kind of excited about that, and I went and looked at it, and it was a little more airplane than I wanted to build, I guess. And it's also was going to be pretty expensive and 2 or 3 years away before they even have a kit. And I walked past their booth, and I saw another company called Rands, and they have an airplane called the S-21 Outbound, and I got really excited about that. So I got so excited about that a year later. Well, I'd ordered a kit 2 months later and picked up the kit a year later. So I've had this kit since October of 2023. So you can see here I had to build some shelving to store everything on. That's a fuel tank and some tail parts that are finished up there. And then this is some wing skin and fuselage skin. And then over here, you can see the wing that I completed. That's the left wing. This is the fuselage cage. It's a steel tubing cage that mates up with a aluminum tail cone section. And it's going to basically be the same mission as the Tailorcraft. I really kind of decided that the Bonanza is a good traveling airplane, but I really enjoy fun flying locally, and I just wanted a little more capability. So that's why I got the Rands. I'll show you where I'm building it here. So this is a 10 by 20 portable garage. It's just steel tubing that clips together with a canvas covering. I used it for a paint booth on the Tailorcraft, and one of my other neighbors did that with his airplane. But I got it lit pretty well, and I got a little air conditioner over here in the corner. You can see it's only, we've got it down to 98, or no, it's 88 degrees right now. Super cool, right? But anyway, I built a couple tables, and right now I've started working on the right wing. The kit comes, all these holes, most of the holes anyway, are already, they're already drilled, and you have to do what they call match drilling, and then you rivet it all together. It's been a pretty fast build so far, and it's really laid out well. I'm enjoying doing it. So I don't think I'm gonna make videos of every step of the way, maybe just some periodic updates. There are already 5 or 6 guys that have channels that are documenting their build very thoroughly, and it's really been a huge asset, so thanks to those guys. Rand sends you some PDFs that you can print out and make books out. They have what they call a textbook, a figures book, and a parts book, and they're really pretty good instructions, but it's really good to also have some video of how to do the build. And so maybe I'll document some things that aren't as documented. I do plan to paint it myself. I've painted about, I guess, 4 airplanes now. There's not a lot of guys that are documenting their paint jobs, so maybe I'll do that when the time comes, but that's still a bit down the road. Plan to have hopefully this right wing finished in the next week or 2, and then I got to do the wing tips, which is supposed to be pretty hard. And after I got the tips done, I'll start on the fuselage, and then we'll start updating you as I build the fuselage. But anyway, if you're a Rands guy and haven't seen my channel before, welcome to Flying with Brian. It's going to be pretty focused on this build from here on out. Maybe occasional flying in the Bonanza or Tailorcraft, but I just want to document this build so I can look back on it. And then, like I said earlier, just to be able to meet other builders and connect when we're at Oshkosh or Rands events and that sort of thing. But so welcome back to Flying with Brian. Sorry for the long absence, but here we are building another airplane, and I'm excited about it.